Check, 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 check. No chat window. No chat window at all. All right, let's see. Let's close this. All right. Bum ba dum bum ba da dum bum ba dum bum. Bum bum ba dum bum. Let's see here. Check, 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 check. I have no chat window. No chat window. Why? Let me see if I can figure this out. Check, check, check. I have no. All right. Well, it appears to be streaming. What up? Try and figure something out here. I have no chat window. See if I can try and fix that real quick before I get started. I hate having to read the chat from my phone, so let's see here. I don't know why it keeps doing this to me. It did this to me the last stream too. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Everything looks good and you can see me. I'm just trying to figure out why I can't see the chat. I can read it on my phone, but that sucks. See, I don't see. There we go, chat. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Destructo, what up, dude? I can hear you loud and clear, and the chat seems to be coming through. Cool. Good. It's weird. It's in some weird format all across it. I do see it now. Okay, so I can shut my phone down. All right, and I won't need my spectacles, my bifocals. What up, y'all? Thanks for joining in. Just a little impromptu Sunday stream. I was going to just do a little bullshitting about gear, and I have this arrived yesterday, and I haven't opened it up, so I was going to pop that open. But hope everyone is doing well out there. We got a rainy day here. Reminds me of living up in the Northwest, up in Oregon and Washington. Feels like that, and I kind of like that. I like days like this. Just was watched a movie all bundled up with blankets on the couch with the kids earlier, and before I go do some chores and stuff that I need to do to prepare for the week, I thought I'd just pop on. I've been wanting to open this box up. Yeah, now the chat is visible, so I don't know if you guys see it on your end. You should. Now what? Okay, yeah, now chat visible. Gotcha. Yeah, guys. Just what you order from Walgreens. Yeah, got something special, man. Got something special from the Walgreens. Yeah, that's what. So this isn't a new purchase. I'm not gonna be buying really much new gear anytime, other than maybe the occasional maybe pedal or something. From here on out for a while, there's just it'll be a lot of stuff that might not be super exciting for people who are just looking for new stuff. But yeah, I might as well open up the package, see what's in the box, huh, guys? What's up? This world needs a hero. And Warhard Arts, thanks for joining in, dudes. Just gonna open this box up that I got that I'm pretty excited about. This was an eBay auction that I won. Probably not going to be super exciting for everyone, but for me, it's pretty cool. I've been had my eye on one of these for a long Long time. Always have your Milwaukee blade with you wherever you go. You never know, boys. You never know. You're going to need to cut something, slice something open. All right, what do we got here? Ooh, okay. Nicely packaged, which is good because this thing is rare. Let's see here. Pull this fucker out. All right, here we go. Okay, what we got here, I'm really hyped on. I need to put on my bifocals to get a good close look at it. And, woo, look at that. She's in good shape, too. All right, this is the Brule and Kagir, the Type 1405 noise generator. So this is for my test equipment setup. I'm a huge fan of the Brule and Kagir equipment. Everything they do is top quality, top notch. I have a whole bunch of stuff from them. Usually a lot of stuff, I would have more, but a lot of it's like really expensive. Used to be back in the day, years ago when I first started collecting, building my end of the world machine, my modular analog monstrosity of a synthesizer, you could get shit cheap. But after Heinbach and Look Mum No Computer kind of got big and people got hip to test equipment, all the prices jumped up. So I don't buy stuff as much as I used to. But this thing is dope. My other noise generator took a shit on me. So I have an old Genrad, General Radio, old school one that I have to recap. One of the capacitors started leaking, which happens in this old gear. You have to recap it. But this one is pretty sweet. It's got a built-in compressor, so I'm hyped on that. And from what I understand, it's a really good compressor. And then you got your mode. You got white noise, pink noise, and it's got a filter built in. Yeah, this thing looks like it's in pretty good shape too. Cool. So you got your compressor input, your output. It is just mono. You'd need two of them to get stereo. Most of the test equipment stuff, almost all of it, is just, single input. You don't get stereo inputs on this stuff. But that's okay because it's just, I'm using it in like a modular synthesizer, But I'm excited. This is a much better noise generator. So I'm pretty hyped on this thing, and it's got such a cool look to it. I'm pretty hyped. So excited. So I got to plug that in later. And I'm glad. One thing about these Brule Kagir things is sometimes it's really hard to find the right power supplies for them. You have to get these adapters or like these special power supplies. Because these are made. What country are they from? I should know this. I'm forgetting right now. Denmark? I want to say it's Denmark is where the company comes from. So all this equipment comes. I forget what year this was. This is either 1960s or 1970s. But the factory seal's still on there. Oh, here we go. I can look on factory service instruments from Brule and Kagir. So they did have outlets that sold in. So their headquarters was actually in Marlborough, Massachusetts. I could have sworn there's so many. I thought these were from overseas. I'm almost positive they are. They must have just had a headquarters here that distributed. I'm going to have to do some research. Maybe I'm spreading false information. I apologize. Oh yeah, it says made in Denmark right there. Okay, so I was right about that. So then they just distributed. So our European friends have a much easier time finding tons of the Brule and Kagir stuff compared to here in the States. We're fortunate on other companies like WaveTech and stuff. The PAR, the Princeton Applied Research stuff is huge. I'm a huge fan of their things as well. But yeah, man, I'm stoked. Nice noise generator. If you're ever building any kind of like, your own custom synth, you want a noise generator in there. So jump in the see what you guys are saying. Who else joined in here? Hey, what's up, Viral Beats? Thanks for jumping in. Good to see you, dude. Tone Smith, what's up, man? Sick Jawbreaker shirt. Yes. Glad you know who that is, Tone. Yeah. One of my all-time favorite bands. Blake Schwartzbach's probably my favorite lyricist and songwriter of all time. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Word Arts trying to come up with a new tone for his tone bell. Doorbell? Dang phone, it's autocorrect. I need one of those for drum supplement. Oh, a noise generator? The Crazy Wabbit, what's up, dude? Let's see. Good to see you guys all in. So yeah, man, I was pretty stoked on this thing. I got a really good deal on auction, and that's the only way I'll buy stuff now. When it comes to test equipment, is because people, like I said, ever since it kind of got out there, it used to be so cool because I used to find like 99% of my setup I got for like 20 to 40 bucks. It'd be on eBay. It'd say for parts are not working, power's on, but we have no way to test. And I would say like almost all of it. There was very, very few things. Like there was maybe out of 100 pieces that I got, pieces of gear, I'd say maybe 3 or 4 I couldn't get to work. A lot of times it would be something really easy, like you just change a fuse, and or sometimes I did have to do some other things. Like there was some more advanced troubleshooting and a little bit of soldering I had to do on a few, but the majority of everything. Now, when I say it works, it worked to make noise with. Now, as far as the instruments, for some of them being calibrated specifically for a laboratory test environment, I don't know that. Some of them are probably like way off and make weird, not wouldn't test for whatever kind of aren't calibrated to do what they were specifically built for. But as far as purposes like we use to repurpose them into music making and sound warping and such, yeah, I love it. And I actually have a couple function generators, which are just oscillators, that I know for a fact are like make weird, like, or distorted sounds. I put them on the oscilloscope and the waves are like all warped out and stuff. But I love that because it gives me a different sound. So for my purposes, I like sometimes when the equipment is probably a guy in a lab coat somewhere would be like, this is malfunctioning, we can no longer use this, but it works like awesome for just making like, crazy warped music. So yeah, I'm real close to debuting the first video of the new incarnation of the End of the World machine. I'm just going through some fine tuning, and I still got a few pieces out on the bench. I've been, like I said, I've been recapping some things and doing some cleaning out. Some of it was stored for a while and needed to be kind of serviced somewhat, using contact cleaner on some of the dials, knobs, switches, things like that. But it's really, really, I'd say it's about 98% there. I was planning to be done by now, but it is what it is. So there'll be a whole bunch of new videos coming up on the End of the World machine and test equipment and stuff. So yeah, I'm stoked. I'm not gonna use everything like I did before. It's gonna be huge, but I don't want to. I'm trying to like fine tune it into like a set instrument to be two specific purposes, which will be as a synthesizer, as a full-on analog modular synthesizer, but it's also going to be a processor for sound. So I can run my synths, guitars, drum machines, everything through it for crazy sounds as well. So it's going to have more of a dual purpose. And before, if those of you who have watched my older videos and know about the End of the World machine, I mainly used it all alone by itself. I didn't really incorporate a lot of my modern gear with it. And this time I'm going to be using, like, for instance, the 2600, the BARP 2600 and Cobalt Expander are right there. I'm going to be using other synthesizers that are modular. I have some conversion boxes for going from regular Eurorack, was it 3/8 the little cables into the banana cables, because all the test equipment is all BNC connectors, and I use you have to use banana cables, or you can use BNC. The thing about the banana cables is they're stackable, so that's why I like to use those. But yeah, anyhow, so I'm pretty hyped on this noise generator, guys. This is one of the missing pieces since my main noise generator it went down. I was bummed because that's a big part of how I use when I make things. Having pink noise and white noise in there is giant. So getting this as a deal, and it being a Bruel Cagier, which is one of my favorite brands for this test equipment stuff. But yeah, let's see, Banana Rider, what up, dude? So yeah, I know I don't think many of you guys are big into the test equipment world, but it's definitely an interesting thing, and I would not ever recommend anybody to get into it, especially now with the prices of it and stuff. Best contact cleaner for buzzy parts. What is the brand I have? I mean, any of them work pretty good. I have a couple different kinds. They're out in the garage on my bench, but I'd have to look. I'm not sure. I've ordered some off Amazon before. I've bought some locally at a little electronic shop, but I honestly can't remember the brand. I've never like had any bad experience like using one that like didn't work. You got to don't be too liberal with them. You got to be a little bit, light on them, and then test them out and stuff. And it doesn't always work. Sometimes you got to take the whole take them all apart and then clean them from there. For a buzzy pot, I mean, yeah, I don't know if I'd try air first. If it's just like a buzz, like on one of your filter knob or something like that, I would try just a little bit of air, and just maybe a Q-tip around it, even with just like slightly warm water, or hot water, and then just like kind of dry that up. I would try that first for a buzzy pot before I resorted. I usually don't use the contact cleaner until it's really bad, like switches that won't turn on old test equipment and stuff like that. No KY jelly. Hey, whatever works, man. Sometimes sometimes you got to make that shit greasy. What was it Frank Zappa said? Keep it greasy so it goes down easy. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Or WD makes an electrolyte spray. Also, Warheart says, yeah, there you go. That's a brand. Yeah, Deoxit for electronics. Deoxit, yes. Let's see. Yeah, man. I'm pretty hyped to get this thing going. I'm also incorporating in it. There's going to be a TV on it, and then I have the Atari 2600. And then from the Atari 2600, from the TV, I'm using audio out with the Atari synth cart. So that's going to kind of be incorporated into it. But then I can also like hook up Atari games like Pitfall and, Defender and all of the Adventure. And that's kind of going to be part of this new setup with this old analog equipment, is that having the Atari 2600, and I can change that out for other gaming systems. I have a large collection of like retro gaming systems, and my son's like heavily into it now, and we've been like even getting more. He's got a whole collection. He's got all my old systems, and we have like a large majority of all systems through all time since the beginning. I'm hella old, and I started my very first system that my family had when I was little was Pong. And then I went from Pong to the 2600. Then we got into television, and then the first NES system, Nintendo, Sega Master System, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo. You go through the ages, you guys get it. At one point, I even had, like back in the 90s, I remember I had the PlayStation 1, the Sega Saturn, and the Nintendo 64 all on a switcher box on my TV. So I was like a heavy, big-time vidiot back then. Don't play as much anymore, but I'm stoked my boy's into it, and he likes to play. Sometimes I'll play certain games with him, but he's got hella systems right now. We just found a deal not that long ago on a Facebook Marketplace. This lady had like... it was like a bunch of systems. We got a GameCube, two original NESs, a couple PS2s, PS3. What else was there? A couple other systems with just a bunch of random games, a 360, Xbox 360, whole bunch of games, peripherals, all this stuff, and she sold it to me all as one thing as a deal that I got for him. So he's been having fun going through that, and you can do all these mods and stuff on them now. So we're gonna mod the PS2. I guess that's like a big thing. He found on YouTube. People are doing mods. It's an easy machine to do that on, and then for the Super Nintendo, you can buy those carts now where you can just load with like all kinds of games and stuff, and then play. Because there's a couple games that we wanted to get for the Super Nintendo, and they're just stupid expensive. And I was like, man, do we really need to spend like $200 for one game? And I looked into it. It's like, you know what? Sure, if he plays that game and it becomes like something he really, really wants just for the collector value of it and stuff, maybe we'll get it down the road. But you got to kind of play the game and make sure you like it that much first. So anyhow, so yeah, it's kind of going to be cool to have the old school Atari 2600 tied in with the end of the world machine. I like that idea. And then up above, I'll have the reel to reel machine, so I can run tape loops from that. And then kind of like an old school Music Concrete, setup. But then it'll be tied in with new stuff, and I'll have like a mixer that everything runs through, so I can just have all the sounds come in the mixer and then play separately with the faders. Yeah, we'll see how it all works out. It's a work in progress. It's really close to being done, and the noise generator going out on me was a big bummer, because I do love that, and I will repair it. I just got to get some parts. It's an old tube one, but putting the filter banks together of all of the tube old school filters, bandpass filter banks and stuff together has been, configuring it all on paper has been quite a challenge, from what I wanted to do, like what was in my head to what was capable, and then how to route everything is like quite a complex thing. So I'll make a video running through it all. Probably several, because there's so much there and so much to it. But let's see. Okay. I missed someone coming in there. Appreciate you guys all hanging out. Fuck yeah, I love those classics. Hell yeah, Banana Rider. Let's see, a video like that. Such a huge effort, Trader Props. Thank you, Warheart. Thank you. Yeah, it's been this thing started as my my COVID project when the world shut down for a minute. You guys remember that? It was pretty gnarly on us. I got laid off from my job. School's closed, and I'm a solo dad, so I was stuck with the kids at home. And this became my kind of project, building this thing to keep my sanity as something to do. And then just kind of grew from there, from something that was just originally going to be like a little setup. And then it got bigger, and then it got bigger, and then it got bigger. And then it just became like a passion, and I enjoy it. And a thing about it is a lot of the equipment I use also for testing electronics and testing things. It's got, dual purpose because it is test equipment. So I do use some of it for its original intended purpose. But it's just been like something. And then these last couple of years, we moved from our old house. I bought this house and like was building originally I was going to have two studios separately, and downstairs was going to be the test equipment and some other stuff. And that just didn't work out for me how I'd hoped. I just didn't find myself getting down there as much, having two separate studios. In theory and as a concept, it seemed like a great idea because I was going to run audio up through there into here to be able to record and stuff. But I don't know, it just in practice it didn't work out so great for me. I wasn't very I just didn't get down there and use it, and I never fully built the whole thing back since the old studio. So I just decided, screw it, I'm just gonna take some of the regular gear that I had out here that I wasn't using as much and put that away, and then bring the end of the world machine, because I really missed having it and incorporating it. And I just didn't want to always be down there. And I didn't want to set up another computer to record down there. And I thought about the whole effort of running those kind of the distance of running cables for audio was not ideal. And it just didn't work out like I'd hoped. So yeah, the whole new rebuild up here came about, and it's crazy, man. When you guys see it, it's it's nuts. I mean, it goes to the ceiling, like in a giant. It's like two giant walls that go all the way to the ceiling. It's pretty crazy, but yeah, it'll be debuting soon. This next month is going to be a little hectic for me. I am going to be having. I have to go in for my surgery, and then have some other big changes coming up with work that I'm going to be pretty busy, so it's going to be hard to do anything like this that I want to do, or to even just get on here as much. So I hope everyone understands I won't probably be uploading as much. This last week's been pretty busy. I had to go out of town for a moment for a seminar thing, and then yeah, then I got kind of sick after that. I came back and I picked something up, and I haven't been feeling. I'm feeling better today, but I picked up a gnarly cold for a few days there. But yeah, let's see. I got to keep sheets over my studio very dusty. Yeah, I have that problem too. I was gonna ask Wabbit. I see those cool like weird dust covers he's got. Did he make the Wabbit? Did you make those, or what's the deal with those? What are those made of? Because I've been trying to come up with something new. I used to buy these covers. Like on the Syntac, there's one there. I've got several others for all my Electron stuff, but those things are kind of pricey. I'd like to find like a more reasonable thing to keep covered. I was using sheets and like towels and stuff, but I don't know. I don't really. I'd like to find a different option from that is affordable. Let's see. You've inspired me to throw a sheet over my gear on my 3-tier stand. It definitely been slacking. Yeah, man, dust is the worst. Especially now it's gotten cold here. I had to turn we turned the heater back on since last winter. And it gets a lot more dust. Even with, changing the filters and stuff, it's just naturally dust comes out. See, yeah, those COVID lockdown periods was a strange experience. Yes, they were. I suspect that like many, it was during those times I began to watch and sub to YouTube channels. Yeah, you know what? I definitely became much more heavily involved in YouTube watching, and that's when I first uploaded my very first video. I'd had the channel for a while, but never put anything up. My first videos were on the End of the World machine. I think that's my original few videos were all test equipment related stuff. But yeah, man, that was a weird period. Definitely, I bet YouTube grew like so substantially. At that point, like so many people started probably watching. Wish I had a dope dad like you, Trader. Thanks, Banana. Thanks. Yeah, I hope my kids feel the same way. I think they do. Except when I try and make them stop playing the video games and do their homework or chores or anything, then I'm not such a dope dad anymore, am I? I want to see this monstrosity. Warheart, you can go back into some old videos and see the older version. It hasn't changed that dramatically. There's been this is going to be the third or fourth incarnation of the End of the World machine. So, but I have a ton of videos from back, years, the last 4 or 5 years of where you can see it and hear some of the craziness of it. But I have refined it, and I have some new pieces that have not yet been seen on video that are super cool, and a bunch of different ways. I was gonna do some videos on ways that I sequence it, because there's multiple ways you can sequence this stuff, and that's the trickiest part. Is it's easy to make it all make sound, but it's just like a drone, like an oscillator. That was horrible tone. Excuse me, I've been sick, but yeah, to make it actually like make rhythms with pulses like drums or anything, or to have like note changes and things like that is tricky. And there's multiple different ways you can do that. And I have like quite a few different ways that I do play and sequence it. So I was going to go over that in in a video just showing. See, it'd be a long video. I might have to break that up because there's multiplexers, there's word generators, there's little the RGB, like the push button things, like to switch between video. That would be for BNC video. You can play them like that. You can a lot of different ways you can do it. You can just hook up CV into it with like a KeyStep Pro or something and do it that way. But it's yeah, it's pretty crazy. Let's see. Killing it, man. Thank you, dude. I started watching YouTube end of 2023. Dang, that wasn't that long ago, Hero. You're pretty new to the game, huh? No, it was when I was stuck at home in 2020, it became like, especially the live streams. At that point, I discovered Noir Et Blanc V, one of the coolest dudes on YouTube. Started watching some of his videos on synthesizers and stuff, and discovered he had a weekly live stream back then. And that community and those live streams were like such a huge thing for me to keep any kind of like outside social contact with the world at that point. Because it was like crazy for a few months there. It was, like we didn't barely leave the house and stuff. It was like, cause it's weird to look back now because, we probably could have. I don't know. I'm not going to get into any of that. But at the time, yeah, it was. And over that year, being part of that and being in that community with those people were like some of the coolest people I've met in all my years on the internet. Absolutely love the other folks over there in Noir. Awesome dude. Like super freaking cool. And I'm thankful that I found them in that time, and it was so inspiring because Noir is such an amazing musician and so talented and just so, the whole creativity over there of everybody was super cool, and it helped me a lot for being motivated and just yeah. So yeah, YouTube's been a helpful thing. Even sometimes now that I sometimes bum out on like YouTube. It's changed a lot. It's not quite like how it used to be, but it is what it is. It's just, I think just sometimes the internet in general can get kind of, I don't want to say overwhelming, just can be like, you just want, sometimes you got to take a break from it for sure. Let's see. That's where we met. Yeah, Viral, dude. That is where we met long years ago. Known Viral Beats for a long time, man. It's a great community. Hell yeah, Viral. Yeah, I met some super cool people. By watching, I mean on a daily basis. Before, I would just look for music on YouTube and guitar pedal reviews. Totally get you. Yeah, see, that's how I mainly used to watch like skate videos on it or gear reviews. As an old skateboarder, I still watch a lot of skateboarding content. Even though I'm old, I'd keep up on stuff and still try and skateboard a little bit when I can with the kid. Even though physically I haven't been able to this last half year or so, but that's always was my big thing is I'd watch I'd watch podcasts and stuff sometimes, but I never got into the live streaming until back in 2020. But yeah, YouTube, it's I wonder if like more people watch YouTube than like anything else, Netflix or HBO Max, Amazon, whatever. I would almost wager that like interactive television like this with live streams, is probably like more. Well, I'm sure most people watch like short TikTok shit, to be honest, or at least did. I don't know. Let's see, by watching. Oh yeah. Let's see. Hey, Davi, what's up, man? Davi the hug monster. Good to see you. Yeah. I'll show this thing one more time. So I unboxed my new Bruel Kagir noise generator. I'm super hyped on this thing. This thing's in really beautiful condition. I've gotten sometimes you get test equipment, and this stuff's from laboratories and stuff, so it's sometimes beat up, and it's nice when you get a piece. And I got a really really good deal on this, especially for what they go for. I'd say I got it for about a quarter of the price of what you normally see these things go for. But yeah, I'm super hyped. Everything is pristine on it, and it came with the cord, the cable, which, like I said, trying to just find or buy just a cable by itself for that stuff. So it's got a weird. Let's see if I can. You guys, it's got this weird like all straight. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to see that in there. It's just a weird little on a lot of it. Prongs. The prongs are weird. So it doesn't have, it's got a flat, instead of the little round ground like we have in ours, it's like a, let's see if I can get that up there, like a flat one. You guys see that? It's like three. But yeah, trying to find the adapter for those. It's, you have to go to like a specialty place. Hopefully this fuse is good. I usually, what I'll do is I'll check before I plug these things in, I'll check the fuse. And this one I'm not too concerned about, but when they're really old pieces of equipment, there's a thing called a variac, which, so the problem with the really old things is the capacitors start to leak on older gear. So if you just turn it right on, full blast, it can be bad. It won't, if the capacitors are old and bad, they'll just start leaking. So if you, a variac, what it does is it'll slowly increase the voltage up. So like you can start like low and have it on and then just slowly turn it up. And that allows the capacitors to kind of start charging and then build up. It's supposedly much better for them, is what I've understood and was taught. And that seemed, whenever I use the variac for older pieces of gear, I've never had any issues. Where in the past where I didn't use one, I have a really cool oscillator function generator slash filter device that goes with a lock-in amplifier from EG&G, which is was it Princeton Applied Research, or I forget what the EG. They're both like two companies that were owned separate times. So it's EG&G PAR is what it's called. But it's a really cool one. It goes with a lock-in amplifier. It's like a set of two. And that one I fired right up, and the capacitors leaked all over the circuit boards, and it was super bummer. I have cleaned it up, and I've got it. I did recap it, but it has some weird issues now. I'm probably going to pull it back out and throw it back on the bench and open it up, and hopefully I can get it to recover. But yeah, let's see here. 2 o'clock. Okay, I have time. It's raining really hard out there. Really feels like the Northwest. Feels like your part's up viral. Feel like I'm up in the Northwest right now, which is nice. We need the rain here in the desert. Let's see. You now fluffed officially. Uh-oh. Is that a good thing, Debbie? I used to skateboard, 2 independent trucks, Dark Star wheels, Bones bearings, Enjoy decks. Hell yeah. Right on, hero. Yeah, it's been skateboarding's been one of the biggest things in my life for many, many, many years. I started in the late 80s and skateboarded basically every single day that I could physically until I was like in my 30s. And then it would be like a weekly thing, and then sometimes a couple times a month thing, work and life, and just physically as I got older, I can still do a lot of tricks, I can still do a kickflip and stuff, but like, I'm not jumping down shit or doing handrails and stuff, I'm 51. So like that, those days are long over. But it's awesome to see my boy into it. and to go to the park with him and cruise around is a lot of fun. And I still do like little flat ground stuff. I still jump on the ramp. I think actually the transition feels safer. It's easier to run out or slide out of things. Not as much impact on the knees. So I like skating the mini ramps and stuff in the little bowls and just cruising around. It's a lot of fun. Let's see. Hey, Synsotic, what's happening? Good luck with it. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna go into detail about it, but it's there's a little sketch factor, but it's gonna be all right. I'm pretty positive on everything, and it has to be done. There's just no way around it if I'm ever gonna be back to absolute 100% physical. I thought it would happen by now, but some stuff got pushed back. But yeah, yeah, it should be no big deal. So fingers crossed. Appreciate it. Let's see. Oop. Appreciate you guys all jumping in. Tone says, I just had a vintage preamp repaired, recapped, new tubes. The tech had it on his Variac for like 4 days to make sure it was good to go. Nice. Yeah. Man, that's nice to have a tech to do all that. Like, it's like I do a lot of stuff like that myself, but it's like sometimes stuff feels like it's even though I'm an electrician, electronics is a different animal. I'm more of just a hobbyist when it comes to electronics. But let's see, that's cool. I hope that preamp is good, man. A vintage one, huh? Curious, what is it, Tone? The preamp, just what model? I felt the camaraderie. Skaters, dog. Yeah, hell yeah. Banana, you're a skater. Yeah, that's right. When's the vert ramp getting built? Oh, dude. I only skated vert a little bit back in the day, and I wore pads. I skated more pools and bowls. We didn't even have skate parks for years. I was like in my early 20s when the first skate parks, other than like I used to go to, my grandparents lived in Santa Cruz, and I used to spend summers there, and we had Derby Skate Park, which is basically, if you know, it's one of the oldest. It was just a snake run down into this super mellow, almost hard to call it a bowl. It was just like a bank, like super mellow. But there was that, and other than that, there was like Benicia, which we used to hit, which was just like some kind of like sort of not pyramid, but like a kind of like banks where you could like go over, like humped banks. Hard also to call like an actual skate park, but that's all there was for skate parks when I was coming up. And actually, my hometown of Yuba City, California, was I think the first of the built parks in the, was it mid 90s? They built the Yuba City Park, and I had already moved away by then. I'd moved to Reno, and then I was living in Phoenix at that point. But I went back to visit when it was built to skate that, and then after that, it was like parks everywhere. I remember Desert West got built in Phoenix, and I think that was the first cement park. And then from there, it just everywhere. Now kids are so fortunate today. I mean, they have like, we had to skate. We had a curb or a janky little plywood thing we'd throw together that we had to build and stuff. And that's why I think skateboarding, why it's progressed so much these last years is because these kids have these training grounds to come up in. They have like the ultimate places to ride. It's pretty amazing, and I'm so stoked that there are so many cool places to skate nowadays. Because that would have been like, I can't even imagine when I was like, when you're 12, 13 years old, to have a place like that to go to every day instead of just like, go behind the Safeway or something and like, have a curb and maybe a loading dock. And yeah, so totally different world. Let's see. I might have to put on my spectacles here, fellas. Nah, don't work on there. I lost my prescription glasses. I was so pissed because I have to wear like, it's just like for readers, but I have some prescription ones, and I took them off. It's about 4 or 5 days ago, and I don't know. I went out there, out into the kitchen and out in the dining room. I was doing something, and I set them down, I thought, and then I couldn't find them. And what I think might have happened is I set them on the edge of the counter, and I think they might have fallen into the garbage can. And then my son took it out to the dumpster, and then like the garbage got taken. And yeah, that's the only thing I can think because they literally just flat out disappeared. So I have to use these like store bought readers until I can get my prescription ones, and they give me a freaking headache, and they don't look as good. So getting old sucks, man. I always had like perfect vision, and like these last few years, I had to get readers because I can't see shit up close anymore. So, but I can kind of read that. Let's see. Camaraderie. Just got over a huge set of storms, thunder at night, which never happens. Oh yeah, that's pretty rare up there. I think it looks like it's heading down here. I think it's coming from up there. Uh, we had storm on Thursday, Dobby. We need the rain, so I'm not going to complain at all. Independent trucks, nothing else. Santa Cruz decks, OJ wheels. Oh yeah, yeah. I've been an indie guy most of my life. I have dabbled in thunders through the years, but indie is usually my go-to. As far as decks go, I jump around. I've skated, geez, I mean, through the years. A lot of the companies I used to love are no longer around, but right now I got a creature board that I got a deal from it. My friend owns a skate shop in Reno, Sierra Nevada Skateboards. Shout out Skin Dog. Picked up a board from there that I got hooked up on. But yeah, I've ridden. Yeah, I was riding anti-hero boards for a long time. I always liked, real anti-hero crooked stuff. But I've skated, girl chocolate boards. Yeah, through the years. I mean, I could just go, it's so many companies. A lot of companies that I used to love are just gone, long gone, When I started out, it was like Santa Monica Airlines was a big one I liked. We used to ride Alva boards back in the day. My very first board was like an Alva Dagger with independents and crossbones. Then I got a Nodus Coppice. And then from there, it was like, I started going through boards like crazy. In the early 90s, the big pants, small wheels era, we'd break a lot of boards. So I went through, Black Label, New Deal was a big one. Skated tons of New Deal boards. And then like Santa Cruz, Powell. Yeah, a lot of girl and chocolate for a long time. At World Industry boards. That was for a long time I was like into the World. In the early days when it was like World, Plan B, 101. Those were like huge. I skated like for a number of years. That was like my go-to thing. I was like huge. And then when Girl and Chocolate started, I kind of like really liked that. I love Mike Carroll and Rick Howard, two of my all-time favorite skaters of all time. So especially Mike Carroll, he's like one of my number one favorites of all time as far as style and tricks and stuff. But yeah, but a lot of these guys are like, what are these guys talking about skateboarding? I was, let's see. Oh, get in the chat here. Let's see. I sing the Body Electric. What's up? Thanks for joining in. I often think a Variac inline is something I want any tech to use before powering up very old gear. It feels safer somehow, but I always worry about PSUs coming up too slow, misaligned problem. You know what? I've never had any issues, and it's actually something you can do as a studio technique. So they use this. What's that famous producer woman? She's done tons of like metal albums and all different stuff. Oh God, Massey. What? Oh God damn it! I'm totally blanking on her name. Massey. Damn it. I'll think of it. But she uses a technique with like on guitars and on certain songs where like on the amps, like using a Variac to turn down the thing, you get it because you get a different sound if you're playing out of an amp and you have it powered lower. It changes the tone. It's a technique that you can use it for running because I was talking about making a video because sometimes what I'll do is to get weird crunchy drums and stuff, sometimes I run my drum machines through little practice amps, like guitar amps and stuff, little guitar and bass amps, and I'm talking like sometimes small ones, and then you mic that, or if you can line out from it, But mic it, and it's a way to get like some really crunchy, lo-fi, different sounds on your drums. But doing that with a variac, and then you can get even more kind of distorted, crunchy, weird sounds. It works awesome. I've never seen anybody talk about it in a video using it with drum machines, which I think is a cool technique that I haven't seen a lot of people talk about. And I started doing that with some of the test equipment drums of Pulses, running that because I'd run that into a bass amp, one of my old Fender bass practice amps I've had forever, and then mic that, and then use a variac and bring it down as it goes, so you can. And then what I do is I usually sample that. I'll take that, I'll record it, and then drop that in my MPC, and then sample it and make a drum kit out of it and stuff. But yeah, so I've never had any issues with it. There's certain stuff I wouldn't want to use it with, like if it was a piece of equipment that had a compressor in it, like an AC unit or some HVAC unit, I wouldn't recommend lowering the voltage on something like that. But when you're just talking about a speaker amp, or like something just with some tubes, like a guitar, a head for an amp, like a guitar head or like, the only thing I can really think that would not be safe would be, in my opinion, would be something like an AC HVAC unit with a built-in compressor, or something that has separate controls to it to another device. I probably wouldn't want to mess with it with that. But as far as any audio equipment, I've used it with quite a lot. And laboratory equipment, old test equipment, I haven't had any issues with it. So I don't inherently see any danger in using it, but don't take if something gets messed up. I'm not an expert, so don't take me as 1,000% sure on this. Jason America, what up, dude? How you doing, man? Good to see you. It's my old homie from Portland, dude. What is going on, man? Thank you for joining in. Let's see. World Hero says, time to jam out with the TO5 and MC Live 3. Nice stream, Twitter. Hey, thanks, Hero. Appreciate it, man. You guys all go check out This World Needs a Hero. He does live stream jams every single day. Killing it with his new MPC Live 3 and the TO5. Every single day doing live streams, jamming. Really doing it. This World Needs a Hero. Everybody subscribe to his channel. Check out his videos. Good dude. See, Tone Smith says, yeah, a Limbic F2B from mid-70s, sick. Works and sounds great. Super happy with the results. Very nice, Tone. Yeah, I love the vintage preamps. I would love to get an old one like that. That would be sick. Let's see. Oh, yeah, Derby. Just a little snake run to fly out at the end. Yeah, Derby was fun, though, man. As some of my best memories, Banana, were like early foggy mornings in the summers. We'd smoke out some weed and go ride that as a teenager, just spending the whole morning there. Good memories. Let's see. Nicarino, what's up? Thanks for joining in. The Vapors, good to see you. Check your hamper clothes. What? I need to. Oh yeah, I do need to do laundry today. Let's see, getting old is overrated. Yes it is. Let's see, pockets. Clean your pockets. Is that what you're saying? Got to clean your pockets. Sweatshirt, hoodie. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Vapors. Let's see. Oh wow, I'm way behind, guys. Sorry. Tactical MIDI, what's up? Neighborhood Skateboards. Yes, that's a good newer company. Neighborhood, man, they make some dope videos. Let's see, Spitfires, 33mm, independent. Hell yeah. Tactical knows. Mini Rat Wheels. Yes. Feels like yesterday. Nicarino's, old school like me. Massey. Yeah, Sylvia Massey. Thank you. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. Yeah, that's a really cool technique. It was because of her that I tried it out. Randy Rhoads and Steve Albini used mini amps. Yes, they did. Yeah, Steve Albini was famous for that, huh? Using that in recording sessions to get certain sounds using the mini amps. That crazy pickle lady, yeah, she's awesome. Pickle Fuzz. Just GG sound. Was stoked to see you were live. Thanks, man. I appreciate seeing you. Miss you, dude. Been a long time. Uh, I know you. I think you moved. You moved out of town, right? You got some. You live in outside the city now. You got some property out there for your glasses. Yeah. I was showing. I had opened up. Really stoked. I just got this from an auction. Showed one last time. The Brule and Kagir noise generator, man. I'm really hyped on this. It's pink and white noise, and it's got this super sick built-in compressor, so I can use it for all kinds of stuff. And it's got a filter built in. Just a really dope, perfect condition. I was stoked because I got a really smoking deal on a what do you call it, on eBay. Yeah, on an auction. So I made a bid, and I expected to be like way outdone by it, and I wasn't even gonna make another one. I wasn't gonna go any higher. I was like, why the hell not? I'll try this, and it came through. And the fact that it's in like such damn good condition was just hyped, bro. Hyped, bros, dudes. Let's see, what's that thing run you money wise? The compressor? You talking about this, Stone? I got this for $78, which I normally see them, and I think it was like 20 in shipping, so 70, less than $100. And normally I've seen these things for like 350 to 400. Brocagier stuff goes usually pricey. So in this day and age, with the cost of test equipment, I was like pretty hyped to actually. It's pretty rare I score deals. I do find stuff though, because I have stuff. I know I look for certain things that I have on my wish list. So when it pops up, I have still once in a while I'll find smoking good deals. But the days of like really crazy. I mean, I used to get, you wouldn't believe the amount of equipment that I've gotten for under $40, filter banks and crazy pulse generators and, lock-in amplifiers, stuff like 40 to $60, and these are things that back in like the 70s and stuff were like over $20,000 in the 1970s. Can you imagine how much that would be in today's money? And getting something like that for under $100, because for their purposes, it's considered, for laboratory purposes, it's obsolete equipment, right? So it's like, oh, this isn't worth nobody, but for people like us that can repurpose it for audio uses. But now sellers know, they know that what we're doing. For a while there, they had no idea that we were repurposing this stuff, and that it like actually was like gaining in popularity and value. They're like, why all of a sudden are these things selling that were like dirt cheap for decades? Why are we getting all these bids and people like, buying this stuff? And so they got hip to it, and then they found out about Heinbach and Look Mom No Computer, and they know that that we repurpose all this old equipment to make music with. And it's unfortunate and sad. I feel lucky that I got on it at a time when it still wasn't known. It was shortly after. I was probably at the tail end, because it was within like, I'd say 2 years of me starting to get this stuff that I noticed like a significant price change. It was first with the word generators, the Hewlett Packard word generators, because those are used for sequencing. You can use those for sequencing test equipment. Throws out pulses that you can put in different random, or either random or in, you can actually sequence and make like beats with it. And I luckily did find one eventually for a good deal. But people are selling those for like $5,000-$6,000 and shit now. It's like ridiculous, just absolutely ridiculous. Let's see. I'm on a 14-acre ranch, top of a mountain, surrounded by for some beautiful, dude, raising pigs, sheep, chickens, rabbits, and quail. That is awesome, Jason. Hell yeah. Damn, I want to come visit sometime. That's amazing. Yeah, I saw some pictures on your Insta of looks beautiful, man. Looks absolutely amazing. I'm stoked for you, dude. Stoked for you and your wife. That's absolutely super cool. Yeah, been a long time, man. I haven't been back up there since 2014, 2015 is when I think I last went up there and got the last of our stuff out of storage. But Yeah, still here in Nevada. Not going anywhere. I'm in a very small rural area, but I'm here for work and for the money. The job here is I don't think I could go many other places and be as fortunate to have such a good job. We're in gold mine country, so there's gold mines surrounding this whole area. I think it's the most gold mines in America, and yeah, so that's why I'm here. Might not be forever, but the job I have now is probably going to be the one I ride out for till retirement. So, but yeah, I do really miss the Northwest. It's so there's a lot of things I miss up there. I miss camping and fishing and just the coast and all the things up there. So yeah, Tone, it's not nuts. $78, dude. Yeah, that's why I thought it was just a crap shot in the dark because nobody had bid on it yet, and it had like 2 days left. So I was like, all right, why not? And it didn't. I don't think nobody bid after that. So sometimes you can get lucky in those auctions, man. It still happens. Uh, yeah. Let's see. There's a pen tech company in my town. A pen. Oop. A buddy works there in maintenance. I have him on the lookout for electronic gear for nice. Hell yeah. That's a good dude to know. Davy, night, bud. Thanks for dropping in. Appreciate you. Appreciate you all stopping by. Yeah, I'm gonna try. I've been putting off doing a lot of chores today because of it's raining like hell out there, pouring, and I wanted to do some stuff in the yard, but that's not happening today. But I still need to do some other stuff to prepare for the week, so I'm probably gonna get out of here in a moment too. Anytime you can get away, we will be here. Hell yeah, Jason. I'd love to come up and hang out. Um, you know, my daughter was born when I lived up there and she doesn't remember it. So I'd like to take her back up there and, show her around Oregon, go out to see some waterfalls and, the coast and take her to Astoria and some of my favorite, places that I like to go and up into Washington. And I still got, I got a bunch of friends that still live up in that area and even some family. So at some point, I'll get back up there and visit. I'll definitely hit you up. But yeah, man, still waiting for the Tonewerk update. I thought they said by the end of this month they were going to fix these issues. If it don't happen, I still have a window to return it. I don't know that I will, but if they don't fix these issues soon, I'm going to be pretty bummed, to be honest. Electron, come on, if you're listening, you promised us this device. You released a device with these features, and then all the features do not work properly and aren't implemented. And I like you guys. I'm a big fan of Electron, but you said by the end of the month, you guys said in your release that these particular issues will be addressed and fixed in a firmware update by the end of October. So, I mean, coming down to it. Today's 26th. You guys, it better be released soon, or I'm going to be a little bit disappointed. Actually, I'll be a lot disappointed. So, I hope it comes. Our 11-year-old niece lives with us. Oh, that's cool, Jason. Right on. Oh, that's got to be a great place for a kid to grow up, man. Damn. Yeah, that's cool. I love that you guys got so many animals and yeah, living the dream, bud. That's I was gonna get when I bought this place. I thought about moving out into we can live you can go out further in the country here, but I don't know. It was just the convenience of getting the kids to school, getting to work, commuting, being close to places. It's yeah, sometimes I regret it. Maybe I don't have to stay in this place forever. We don't have to live here forever. I could sell this place and relocate. It'd be nice to get a ranch or something. Maybe when I get a little bit closer to retirement, I'll think about doing that and see if interest rates drop. I'm hoping they're supposed to be dropping more this next year, but let's see. We got a week. We'll get it. Yeah, Tone. Us electronauts got to be positive, right? I really hope so, man. I think we will. I don't think they're going to let us down on this. Hopefully they're just really fine tuning it and getting it right. Yeah, well, guys, I think I'm gonna go and try and be a little bit productive. I was playing on the Muse earlier. I was gonna do a little video of jamming on the Muse. Been really, really loving that thing. I have to let it warm up for quite a long time to stay in tune, especially as it gets colder. But small complaint. It's an analog poly, so um, it's nice to be able to fire something up and play it up. But if I know I'm going to jam, I just turn it on like right then and then come back, go get some coffee or whatever. But man, I was making a patch on that. I'm starting to actually make my own sounds. And it's really, really cool. The delay on it, the Moog Muse, the delay on it is special. I'm like really, really into the stereo delay on it. Uh, but yeah, that's what I was doing this morning for a bit, and probably going to get back to this afternoon. Working on this patch that I'm making. But yeah, let's see. Yo, Twin Cities Oxygen, what up? Hope everybody went over to Twin Cities Oxygen's event he had this weekend for the Sense for Shelter for the animal shelter. It was donations for a great worthy cause. There was an amazing lineup of people who played. Yesterday was I think all the live events or main events, and then today they had kind of a secondary show. Very cool. I went over there. I donated what I could and tried to support and be there. I hope you guys all, super cool thing you did there, Twin Cities Oxygen, and it's inspiring, and it makes me think of the possibilities in our community of what can be accomplished, and yeah, I look forward to like more stuff like that. And I'm looking forward to, he also is doing the Shrimp Wave, which are just jams where he's hosting people come on and do live shows or whatnot, or I don't know if they can be pre-recorded or live, I'm not sure, but jams for Shrimp Wave. Yeah, everybody go subscribe to Twin Cities Oxygen, and show some love. If you can still go over there and donate. It's a great worthy cause, and super cool. So everybody, if you're able, I know you can at least go over and like and subscribe and support there, but if you can, try and throw down whatever you can afford to help it's a no-kill shelter, I believe, right? TCO, which is awesome. So yeah. Well, guys, I am getting ready to head out. I'm going to go try and do some stuff, but I really appreciate y'all jumping by and hanging out. I'll try and get on sometime this week. I have like 3 videos I've been working on that I should have put out already. Been slacking. It's been a busy week. Lot going on right now, as I've said, and some of you know with me. And it's going to be, this next month's going to be a little bit tougher over these next few weeks into the beginning of November, but I'll do my best to try and, come on occasionally. And maybe these lives are much easier than making the videos and doing the editing and all that. Those take a lot more work, and but I do like doing those. I enjoy those a lot. And I like putting out stuff like that. I have the one on the third wave. I have the one that I redid on the Cobalt Expander after that got messed up. And then, yeah, I want to do something on the Muse. I got a lot I want to do. It's just the time and everything going on. It's not. I wish I just had more time, But yeah, thank you guys. Much love to y'all. Hope you guys all have a great week. Tone Smith, Viral Beats, Twin Cities Oxygen, my homie Jason America. We had Davi was in here. We had Banana Rider, the homie Conductive, Nicarino, Tactical MIDI, the Vapors, Conductive. I Sing the Body Electric. We had This World Needs a Hero. We had The Crazy Wabbit. We had Destructo. Yeah, all you guys, man. Warheart, Arts. If I missed anybody, I apologize. Really, really appreciate you guys. And yeah, man, enjoy your week. Remember, PMA all day, every day. Positive mental attitude. Even when shit gets down and seems totally fucked. Got to keep that positive mental attitude, or it'll eat you up inside and fuck with your head. So remember that. Peace.